Hi kids, so let's continue with geography chapter 3, our changing earth. Now kids, what do you mean by flood plains? What plains means the flat land, correct? Now flood plains means kids, when I said when rivers overflow, what happens? That water comes in it starts floating in the side by areas, correct? Sometimes it may come in villages or in cities also. Flood can come. Flood is nothing but because of heavy rainfall, the rivers overflow and that water reaches our city areas or in some different areas. So in those areas, after the flood goes away, after the level of water decreases, you find all meshy land, means land full of sand, correct, with all dirt and everything. But actually this such land where that flood water was there for many days and then it is gone away and you find that area very marshy, such plains are known as flood plains, and flood plains are very good for growing crops. Okay, now one more thing, from rivers, when the water starts flowing, if a river overflows little bit and the water starts flowing, can you see this in this picture? The blue color water is flowing. What is the shape? How it doesn't flow straight, correct? It is always in a wavy motion, you can say in a zigzag motion, a wavy motion. Now sometimes what happens when the water is moving this way in a wavy motion, you can see that brown color, what is there, water is splashing over there and then going back. Then sometimes what happens, because of this, separately only you will find she shape water loggings of she shape. This we called as Oxbow Lake. Okay, the zigzag flow of water, because of that she shape water loggings are found nearby where the water is flowing. Those are known as Oxbow lakes. And can you see this black color? This black color thing, this is nothing but the deposits which the water is carrying together and it is throwing on the sides. Okay, so these are nothing but the deposits and these are known as leaves, or you can also name it as leaves, leaves or levees, both are right. And the flow of this water is nothing but also known as meander, that is already told to you, correct? Yeah, so this is the way it's about water flow. What are the things you need to remember? What is flood? What is flood plains? What are Oxbow Lake? What are leaves? And what is meander? Correct? See the definitions given over here, or you can use the way I have explained. Now kids, you should know what is delta. Now look, for example, just see in this picture. I will show you in detail. Yeah, just see this picture. Can you see the start? Can you see the arrow given main river? So over there is a big main river, but there is little overflow of the river and the water comes on the land. It starts floating, and we all know, okay, water makes its own way, correct? So when the water starts floating, it will go into different directions. Wherever the water finds way, it will start moving over there. So can you see the different directions the water is moving, the blue color? So these different directions in which the water moves, those are known as distributaries. What are they known as? Distributaries. And they all somewhere after floating they stop and they mix in the main ocean or the main sea. Correct? And this, where these all meet, that place is called delta. Clear? Now if you want to see the definition of delta, the collection of sediments from all the mouths forms a delta. From all the mouths means, kids, can you see the different tributaries over here? Yeah, from there, wherever, they all are carrying sands with them, correct? They all are carrying materials or the sediments with them. So wherever those materials are deposited, those places are known as delta. Okay, so delta also are places where you find marshy areas. So delta places also are very good for growing crops. Clear? Now let's go for the next topic. So now you know what are tributaries or what are distributaries and what is a delta. Now let's talk about sea waves. You all have seen the waves, correct? You all have seen in the sea how the waves are moving, and you have imagined how fast the flow is. Sometimes they move very vigorously means with the speed. Now what happens, kids? Because of the speed, they go on banging the stones which are side by. Okay, they go on banging the rocks, big rocks which are side by, and because of that, what happens? Like a cave. All I've seen a cave, a lion's cave. There's like a hollow inside. You can go and sit inside. So cave sort of structures are formed in the rocks, and these structures are known as sea cave. Got it? So how are sea caves formed? It is because of the erosion which takes place because of the sea waves banging the rocks again and again. Correct? Now if this water, sea water waves continuously goes on banging the sea caves, one day it will happen, you will see a hole. You can see the backside also, total hole. So these, when the sea caves are again banged, it becomes a hole over there. This is called as sea arc, or it is known as sea arch. Okay, and sometimes the stones or the rocks are so much eroded, it gives place to stones like this. Means there was a very big rock and now you see just a standing rock you will find. This is known as stack. Okay, so because of sea waves, you find three shapes of the rocks, which are the, because of erosion due to sea waves, which are the three forms you find. One is sea cave, one is sea arch, and one is sea stack. Here, over here, can you see? You will just find a erect, a vertical stone standing. Actually before it was a big one, but because of water erosion, now the shape has become this way. This is called stack. And when there are times when you find very small rocks remaining, like very tiny and you can say very slim rocks seen now because of erosion taking place again and again. So such are known as sea cliffs. See, if you want the definition of what do you mean by sea cliffs, the steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above the sea water is called sea cliff. Got it? Yeah. Now let's go with another topic. Now kids, you all know what are glaciers. You have seen big oceans full of ice, correct? Big rivers full of ice. So glaciers are also known as rivers of ice. Now when these glaciers move, when they melt a bit and they start moving, it erodes the beneath sand, stones, whatever is there down, correct? When it pushes, when it moves, it takes along with it things like small rocks, it can be sand, anything. Now they push and they drop it somewhere else. So the place where they deposit these eroded particles which they are carrying along, so that part or that place is known as glacier moraines. Okay, so what are glacier moraines, kids? The material carried by the glacier, such as rocks, big and small, sand and slit, get deposited. The place where it get deposited means the place where it gets collected. That place is known as glacier moraines. Okay, so this is what you need to know about what is the work of ice or what is the work of the glaciers. Now kids, you all know desert, correct? Deserts are full of sands and you find lot of heavy windy storms coming, correct? Now because of windy storms, what happened, kids? All the sand from one place moves along, eroded by the winds or taken away by the winds. And when the force of the wind stops, wherever the wind force stops, all the sand gets deposited over there. And that place you will find small hill type, because all the sand got collected over there. Such hill type collection deposited of sand which forms hills are known as sand dunes. What are they known as, kids? Sand dunes. We find lot of sand dunes in deserts of China. Okay. And if the sand is very light, so the wind can take it. Look, if it is heavy, then the wind won't be able to take much, correct? Because it requires a lot of force. But if it is very light, so it can take ample of sand together, then it will spread a very long area, correct? So such long areas where sand is deposited or spreaded away by the winds are known as loess. Louis, you find lots of Louises in China. Okay, so this is all about the chapter you need to learn. Okay, kids, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.